Hello and welcome to this edition of China Daily Big Talk. I'm Li Hanqing in Beijing. Today we're very honored to have Mr. Gary Bernison here in our studio. Mr. Bernison is the CEO of Korn Ferry International. Korn Ferry International is the world's largest executive recruiting firm and the leading provider of talent management solutions. Today Mr. Bernison comes here with his new book, No Fear of Failure. This book is about real stories on how leaders deal with risks and changes. Welcome to China Daily, Mr. Bernison.
Thank you.
So how do you come up with an idea of writing this book?
Well, we wanted to go out and talk to leaders from all walks of life. So from the political world, the former president of Mexico, President Fox, to business people, to sports people, to the founder of Lenovo here in China. And we wanted to see if there were commonalities in terms of leadership style among this diverse group of people. And what we found very early on was this concept of failure, not in the sense of fearlessness, but in the concept of recognizing that failure is indeed a possibility in life. And one must bridge failure to success.
So there is an old Chinese saying that failure is the mother of success. What do you think of it?
Well, who's the father? I think that's very, very true. I mean, there's a great quote in the United States by a very famous basketball coach. His name was John Wooden. And his quote was, "Success is never final, and failure is never fatal, provided you learn from it." And that's very similar to this Chinese saying, that to succeed, you're going to have to experience failure, that is part of life, that is part of the journey. And the key is not what you do at the moment of failure, the key is what you do after that point, and how you grow, and how you learn, and how you have the courage to persevere.
So how did you pick up these interviewees, and what kind of conclusions have you made after a year of talking to them?
Yeah, well, we wanted to get people from a variety of different backgrounds and different cultures, so that was one. The world's richest man, Carlos Slim, to the mayor of New York City, Michael Bloomberg. So we cut across different cultures. And what we found were several things. One is that they had just an incredible appetite to learn and grow. And that's what you have to do as a leader. That's what you have to do as a CEO. The second thing is that despite their success, they were people that were very humble. They were authentic human beings that were very, very humble. And so, you take the CEO of Pepsi, Indra Nooyi, who we profiled, who was an immigrant to the United States, came to the United States with $500 in her pocket. And to this day, in her words, she has that immigrant mentality, that the job can be taken away at any time.
So after talking to them, what kind of opportunities and challenges do you think they are facing with?
Well, I think that number one, they view, any kind of challenge as opportunity. And you could see that in each of them. The former CEO of Xerox, who some years ago that company was deeply, deeply troubled. And she saw that as an opportunity. And that's what you have to do as a leader. You have to find the horizon. You have to lead the team to the horizon. The trick is you have to focus on the here and now, because where you end today determines where you start tomorrow.
I read the book and I found you add keywords to each leaders in the content. For example, you add perseverance to Mr. Liu Chuanzhi, CEO of Lenovo Corporation. So are there any specific characters or traits that great leaders have?
Well, I think it's learning agility, being humble, being genuine, being authentic. And in the case of Lenovo, he had a fabulous quote, and it was a Chinese saying, that the barefoot ones are not afraid of the dressed ones. And I think that's fabulous, that you have this no fear of failure. It's not fearlessness, but it's this reconciliation of failure to success, like a great athlete has, right? That every time you go out, you're not going to win. But afterward, you can learn from that defeat and go to the next match.
So among all those keywords, which one do you think is the most important for the leaders?
Humility.
Humility. So why do you think humility is the most important among all those keywords, all those characteristics?
Well, because I think it's something that cuts across any kind of culture, right? Whether you're in Beijing or whether you're in Boston. I mean, there's some very basic things in life. You know, people want to be developed, they want to grow, they want to be stimulated. And culture, you know, there's going to be different leadership styles. But at the end of the day, as a leader, your biggest risk is that you're climbing up the mountain and you look behind and nobody's there. And so what people need to read into you is this sense of authenticity, that they can look in your eyes and that they can see your soul, that they can read through that and cut through that in any language, in any culture. And so I think it's very basic to human nature.
So what sort of leaders or leadership traits that are demanded by companies now?
Well, by far the biggest one is, look, the world is flat. Right, and the world's population is now almost 7 billion. Just take this fascinating country here, and what's going to happen with consumerism over the next decade. And if you consider that 2/3 of the world's middle class are going to be in Asia, what companies are looking for are people that can manage, that can inspire, that can empower, that can motivate workforces across geographic borders, across cultures. So people that can speak more than one language, people that have lived in more than one place in their life, and that can move workforces across cultures. Absolutely number one.
So all in all, what can companies do to develop their leaders?
Well, the best way, and what we believe in at Korn Ferry, is on-the-job training, and that you commit to kind of a lifelong learning, that you move people around between different business units, between different functions, between different geographies, to give them that broad depth of learning. And so that's the best way to do it, is on the job through development.
Thank you, Mr. Bernison. Mr. Bernison today shared with us his new book, No Fear of Failure, and thanks for staying with us. For more videos, please log on to our website at chinadaily.com.cn. See you.